do this all day. A bunch of a-holes. Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Hello and welcome to the Infinity Saga and beyond. My name is Jordan Wiegand, and it's just me here today as we're catching up on some of the MCU news before we go to Falcon and Winter Soldier recaps next week. So we had some rumors, we had some news. The biggest news, of course, was Spider-Man 3 got a title. It was announced on mid-March, I guess. No, this is mid-March. It was like early March that it was revealed, the title. It is called Spider-Man No Way Home, and I'm sure everybody knows that by now. Actually, the title was revealed in February, sorry. But I'm sure everybody knows that by now. But my speculation here on the title, of course, is just, he's on the run from getting his identity revealed, and he's got literally no way home. He's probably hiding out somewhere because of I wanted to say Mephisto. Sorry, too much WandaVision theories on my mind here. But since his identity was revealed, and he's kind of with Mysterio, and he's being, I guess, charged for his murder, or at least pinned for his murder. I'm not sure how much the law enforcement is taking J. Jonah Jameson's, story literally here. We do have the video of Mysterio saying that that it's Peter Parker, and that he's, and then we do know that Mysterio dies, or at least the people of the MCU think he is dead. So I could see a reason that maybe the law enforcement is going after Peter Parker, and he's going to have to clear his name, or clear his name at least in the sense that he's not Spider-Man. We'll see how they pull that off. But so I'm assuming that's it. We do know Doctor Strange is in this movie. We'll find out how, I guess, at some point. People were thinking before that, Wanda was going to be setting something off in WandaVision that then gets, Doctor Strange's notice, and Doctor Strange is in the middle of that when this whole Spider-Man thing's going down. That's not happening, as we can see by the end of WandaVision. Let's remember, WandaVision starts off 3 weeks after the snap. The snap by Tony to bring everybody back, or Hulk to bring everybody back, and the snap by Tony to kill Thanos. So what that means is Far From Home takes place 8 months after the blip, right, when everybody comes back. So at that point I already knew that once they said it's 3 weeks, that nothing was going to happen. There was theories that Wanda was going to make the whole world like Westview, but it just doesn't work timeline-wise. This series took place in just a few weeks, a few days, so there was no time for that to happen when we know that, 8 months later everything's fine, and that wouldn't really tie into Spider-Man 3. So for me, I think that I'm not really sure how we're going to get Spider-Man and Doctor Strange hooking up. I think it's going to be more of a, like I said before on one of these episodes, the one more day plot line that had happened in the past, where everybody knew Peter's secret, and he goes to Doctor Strange, and he has that reversed. I could see something like that happening, because look, there's rumors of it being multiverse. There's rumors of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming back. I'm taking those with a grain of salt, because a lot of the scoopers were just completely wrong about the end of WandaVision anyway. But two, I just don't want to get my hopes up for that either. And so far, I'm just going off of what we've seen in the MCU and how that can tie in. So I'm not speculating on what could be, because literally anything could be. So my speculation is lying more in what has already happened, right? So at the end of WandaVision, Wanda is studying the Darkhold. She's somewhere in, like, looks like Scandinavia, studying that on her own. We do know at the end of Doctor Strange, Baron Mordo was saying that, no more magic users. So maybe he's going to be seeking Wanda to try to put a stop to her. Who knows? That could tie in Doctor Strange with WandaVision. We do know that WandaVision does kind of lead into the Doctor Strange too. That could be how, that little scene there at the end. The other way, how does Spider-Man lead into Doctor Strange? That's where I'm focusing more on maybe them tying in the the One More Day storyline with having people forget his identity, because while yes, it could be that we get Andrew Garfield and we get Tobey Maguire back, I don't want to say 100% for certain yet, without having proof, and I'm not sure how that multiverse would open up, since people originally thought it was going to open up with WandaVision. So I'm not sure what would cause that to open up and then get Doctor Strange to get involved. I think most of the Multiverse of Madness stuff is going to be actually in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So I'm not expecting much of that to happen in Spider-Man. We'll see, though. It could be at the tail end of Spider-Man, which then leads into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. It could definitely be possible. We don't know the full plot line of No Way Home, so we'll see. But that's my speculation on maybe how these three stories interconnect. But that's all I've really got to say about Spider-Man. The last thing that we have two other stories. These are more rumors here. So this one by the Illuminati, he put out, the website put out a story saying that Marvel Studios is currently developing a X-Men based feature film tentatively titled The Mutants. This is not too surprising, right? During the 2019 Comic-Con, Kevin Feige said that they are, working on something with the mutants. That they were coming at some point. So I'm not too shocked to think that they would still be working on this. X-Men is one of the biggest. They have the biggest cast of characters in Marvel. Bring on so many popular ones like Cyclops and Wolverine and Magneto, Professor Xavier, Storm, Mystique. I mean, there's just so many characters that you can pull from there. Gambit, just so many that are deep down there. Beast, Angel. I mean, you could literally just keep naming Rogue. So, I think that'll be obviously for sure, right? That's going to happen. But I'm not sure how much of a story this actually is, because it says that the mutants might not actually be the name they come out with. So we already knew they were working on them. We still don't know the title of the movie then. I'm just not sure what this article is really saying. So obviously the X-Men are coming at some point. Maybe they'll be called the Mutants to not make it so, I don't know, X-Men maybe. Or maybe to differentiate from the Fox X-Men films so people are not confused. But we'll see. I think that there's a lot of marketing that you can do with X-Men that I would assume that's going to be the name of it. But you don't know right now, and unless if they're launching it with the Mutants, maybe that is the name of it, and it's before they get their name as the X-Men. Maybe we're introduced to them at a different time or a different way. We'll see. But not much going on here. We do know that Deadpool 3 is underway currently. It's being written. So that is something that's going to be in the MCU. It's going to be the only R-rated property in the MCU, according to what Bob Iger had said previously. So that's that. The last rumor that we're going to be going over today is something that came from the Diz Insider, and it's already kind of been shot down by Variety, but I did just want to bring this up for speculation. So, what the DizInsider.com said is that they've learned that certain characters from Big Hero 6 will be making their live-action debut in the MCU. So, if you do not know what Big Hero 6 is, it is a Disney film, animated film, that's based off a Marvel comic, a Marvel property called Big Hero 6. They have some characters that the movie has used. That was more like the second lineup of the team. Their first lineup of the team did actually have some X-Men characters like Silver Samurai, Starfire. Was it Starfire? Sunfire, sorry. Starfire is DC. So yeah, it has some of those characters before that have been, and some of those have actually been in Agents of Atlas, which is a Japan or Asian-based, pretty sure it's Japan-based, superhero team. So it could be that is where these characters would come into. It doesn't sound like the whole team of Big Hero 6 would be in, but just some of the characters could appear, and that, that's conceivable. Again, if you have some of the mutant characters that are from Big Hero 6, then that obviously would be correct. But they say that we can at least expect Baymax and Hero. Baymax is not always the cuddly, white, soft vinyl character he is in the cartoon. He is a robot that can be pretty menacing if you look up pictures of what Baymax looked like originally in the comics. But there was a 6-part, I think it was 6-part, the comic was 3-part miniseries. I've read the first issue of that. I'm trying to read all of those as well. But the team that we all know from the cartoon is Hero, Baymax, Go-Go, Honey Lemon, Wasabi, Fred. Wasabi and Fred were added in that second run. That was that 3-part miniseries. The original series that had them was just like Baymax, Hero, Go-Go, Honey Lemon, and then some of those X-Men characters like we mentioned. So that is pretty much what the gist is here. Variety came out and said that Big Hero 6 characters from their sources are not coming to the MCU. Now, the only reason I'm still talking about the Diz Insider article is not just for speculation, but by the fact that they were the Diz Insider has made has broken some other stories before that Variety or other trades have. I think it was like Deadline or one of those had declined before. I think it was like who was starring in the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Disney Plus show. I think they said Rick Moranis was coming back, and at that point, one of the trades said that wasn't happening, and then it came out that it was happening. So sometimes, sometimes these companies use the trades as a way to debunk some of these things that might actually be happening. But I'm not saying for sure that Big Hero 6 is coming in. I'm not saying for sure that they aren't. So I'm just bringing this to everybody's attention, and you can set your expectations there. I'm setting them at maybe it's possible. More possible than I had originally thought. I thought they just wouldn't touch it since it's a Disney animated film now. But, hey, maybe. Especially if they are making a Baymax TV show for Disney Plus, but other than that, if they're never going to make a sequel to this, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to use those characters it wouldn't be the Disney animated film versions, it would be MCU versions. So it'd be different. They'd look different. They would be different actors. I'm all for it. I would really love to see some of these characters, make it into the big screen as live action. So that would be great. Again, they could show up in Agents of Atlas, which is a show that is apparently being worked on. We'll see. That might be something coming in the pipeline there. They could show up in Secret Invasion. They could show up literally anywhere. So we'll see. Jimmy Woo, I think, has been a leader of Agents of Atlas before, or he's been a leader in some circumstances before. If they were to, at the end of WandaVision, mid-credit scene, Monica says that the Authority looks good on Jimmy, so if they go down that road, maybe they maybe he becomes a leader of Agents of Atlas or something, and then has some of these characters appear. It's possible, is all I'm saying. It's really possible. So let's keep an eye out for that, maybe. We'll see. I mean, there's so many projects to keep an eye on for Marvel right now. We're just going to be constantly fed content. As I said, this is like my one time to record right now before we get into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is going to be coming next week. So we'll be having a breakdown of that with Matt Hartgrove and Logan Stump. Logan was on for one of the WandaVision episodes that Casey had some recording issues on. Matt was on for our Disney Investor Day breakdown. So these are people that have been on the show before. They're on some of my other podcasts that I've done previously as well, or currently doing. So it's going to be great to have them on to talk about the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then I think it's just going to be Matt after that. I'm not really sure how we're working that out. I was trying to limit before to like 2 people a show, but we'll see how it works with the 3 of us on premiere night and see what happens there. I do just want to take a moment to say that you may have seen my post on social media about this, maybe not. I am launching a side series here on the main feed. It's not like you have to go anywhere else. It's not going to be broadcast anywhere else. It's just going to be here. It's just a side episode called Elseworlds. For people that don't know what Elseworlds is, it is a DC Comics concept, almost like What If, of like these other worlds, right? These other multiverses, but like these other worlds where, like a What If storyline that Marvel has done in the cartoon What If, Elseworlds is kind of like, what if this happened on this world, right? But that's the name of the series, and we're going to be just talking some DC stuff on there. So if you're not interested in DC Comics, movies, or TVs, then, you could skip those episodes. They're not going to be part of the MCU stuff. But I did just want to be able to talk about DC Comics because I am a fan of both DC and Marvel. So really excited to be able to talk some of that. I think the first episode is either going to be about my thoughts on Superman and Lois, the CW show, or depending on what it is, it could be the Zack Snyder's Justice League director's cut that's going to be on HBO Max on Thursday. So if I don't record anything before Thursday, it's going to be Zack Snyder's Justice League episode, and then the next one would be about just my thoughts on probably Superman and Lois and how much I like that show. So other than that, that's everything that I have today. It's a short episode as we were just kind of catching up on some things. Like I said, next week is going to be our recap of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which the first reviews of that have come out. People seem to really enjoy that. They said a lot more like Winter Soldier-esque, Captain America, the Winter Soldier type of tone. Some dark stuff, actually, in the first episode. Not just all laughs and smiles between and joking between the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm really excited for that series. If you might recall, I believe I mentioned on the Disney Investor Day that was my most looked to series that was coming out. So I'm really excited for that. You can email us marvelplusrecaps@gmail.com or tweet us at 2infinitysaga, facebook.com/infinitysagabeyond. And we will catch you all next time breaking down that Falcon and the Winter Soldier.